welcome to Lulu's Way Healthy Food, Healthy Life. My name is Nicole, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be your co-host this evening. To help keep our meeting focused and free from distractions, please stay muted unless you're speaking, and keep your video turned off if you're doing anything other than sitting and participating. Here in this community, we come together to support, encourage, and inspire one another, celebrating the benefits of good nutrition, weight loss, wellness, and the joy that comes from choosing to serve yourself well. We're not medical or nutritional professionals. We're simply here to share experiences and promote a healthy lifestyle. If you receive any advice or suggestions tonight, especially if you have health challenges, it's always best to check with your healthcare provider first. Our meetings rotate through a variety of topics that focus on the needs and interests of our members, including food prep, motivation, meal ideas, travel, socializing, challenges, non-scale victories, maintenance, and general Q&A. We take one topic at a time, explore it fully, then pick up where we left off the following week. Thank you to all that participate. To share, please raise your hand using the toolbar icon, and I'll invite each person to share in the order that they appear in the participants section. Please be mindful of the length of your share to allow everyone an opportunity to participate. If there's extra time at the end, please feel free to raise your hand and share again. Our meeting ends promptly at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all for being here, for sharing, and for choosing to make your health and yourself a priority. And tonight, our regular topic is going to be travel, but we have a special speaker. Bridget is going to share her story with us.
I'm so grateful, Bridget, that you're going to share your story with us. I know you've been here for quite a while and you've done really well, and I think it would be very helpful for everybody to hear your story. Welcome, Bridget.
Thank you. So I've been on the plan for just about over 2 years. It feels like it's getting close to 2 years. I'm not really good with dates. My highest weight was about 210-ish. I stopped weighing myself at a certain point, just because it wasn't getting any better. And it's been a challenge. I've had a lot of stomach issues on and off over the years. My teens, 20s, I was always really active, riding a bicycle, jogging, etc. I had my daughters when I was in my early mid-20s, and then I kind of was just reflecting on it over the past couple months. 30s started going to hell in a handbasket, and that's really when I started picking up the weight. 40s, the third, I would pick it up and then I would lose it, and I was starting to kind of piece things together. And then 40s, it just was snowballing. And so, without getting too deep, there were a lot of things going on. I always say that your inner world is reflective of your outer world, or your outer world is reflective of your inner world. And I just had a lot of things emotionally going on. I was running a business, so that was really stressful, and it had a lot of emotional things attached to it just because of the nature of it. So I was I think it just started becoming a protective layer. And, the weight was a barrier, and, the clothing was a barrier. I pretty much wore black 7 days a week. It just felt safer. I would never wear any bright colors or anything like that. I came across a diet plan called the blood type diet, and that was the first time things really started coming together. So it was just basically based on your blood type and how, I guess, your food assimilates it. But I just mainly focused on the lists, and I noticed a lot of the things that were on the avoid list were really things that would really bother my stomach. So I kind of started following that on and off. always been a fan of watching YouTube and YouTube videos. So Lulu came across my screen one day, and I started watching it for the van content and just that whole thing, because I'm an avid camper. And then I started paying attention to the food, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. It was kind of tying different ends together that I've found over the years of what works for me, what doesn't work for me. And I would watch the videos, and I would sit there, Lulu, and literally watch you eat. And I'm like, there's got to be a way to change this. I can do this. You're doing it in this small van, and I have a house and a whole kitchen, so I should be able to make this work. So I started getting some groceries, purging out the house, joined the Facebook group, and really it just kind of took off from there. And it's just been nice to have a lot of the support. Last summer I wasn't as active. I was just traveling a lot and enjoying myself. And it is important to kind of keep your focus. It's just such a change from old habits, and creating habits for me that I didn't even realize I had created, or why. And the why has been a big deal for me. And so one of the things that I think is just really great is that Lulu's laid down the foundation work for really mind, body, spirit, between her groups and the book study club, which I kind of fell off track with, but it's available there for everyone, and everyone to decide if it's going to work, if it can help work with them where they're at in their lives. And I think it's just a great, I feel like, Lulu, you've used your platform in so many positive ways for people. So this was the missing piece for me to really get me going and doing some work on my own and self-reflection and things like that, knowing I can come back to the group and go onto the Facebook page and just, read people's questions on different foods. Everyone shares, their meals. I do that, but I've kind of gotten into a groove with mine. So there's really nothing too exciting lately. So I haven't posted any photos. But I get on there, and it's good. I don't always feel like I want to be sociable for whatever reason, but I'm just very thankful that everyone is there. The groups are there. Moving and Grooving is there. It's just a really great way to help you with your focus. We're all in the same spot at different stages, I guess. So it's been interesting. I'm so nervous. I was taking some notes, and then I didn't want to overthink it.
Oh, don't worry about it.
It took me just over the 2 years, I think, to get down to a weight that I'm comfortable at. I'm not so stressed out about the Mayo Clinic chart and a couple other charts I've looked at. I've just been basing it on how I feel, and I feel fabulous. I mean, there's always that wiggle room of the weight, but I'm going into my 3rd month of maintenance, and I feel good. It's a conscious decision every day, every meal, to stay on track. And some days are challenging, to be honest with you, but I don't want to go back down that road again. Well, when you see the pictures, you might decide why I don't want to go. I was just uncomfortable, just uncomfortable and lethargic, and always having stomach issues. I ate a lot of mints, and then I just couldn't handle the sugar from the mints anymore. So then I switched over to peppermint oil to help my stomach, and just all these different things. And it was really the food at the end of the day. It was just the food choices I was making, the quantities, and just changing to a healthier outlook, even about myself personally, has really helped. to stay on track and just want to keep moving forward. Here we go.
Wow, look at you, Bridget.
Yeah.
You're a teeny girl.
I still catch myself off guard in the mirror and I think, holy smokes, I have shoulders.
Wow,
look at that,
Look at you.
So that, the middle picture was probably in the late 40s. I know I picked that picture because when I look at it, I look at myself, I feel like I'm lost inside my body at that point. I was so uncomfortable. Like my hand was on my shirt. I was always I couldn't even cross my legs, and that was probably at one of my highest. The picture on my left, the striped shirt. I was actually in my SUV on my way to quartzsite, and that was in 22. I don't know how I navigated around in that SUV when I look back at myself right there. It was very uncomfortable, but I think I just kind of got so used to myself being that way that I didn't even think about it as much anymore. Because that was my only option. That was me. That's what I had to work with. But wow, I was so uncomfortable. And then my now picture, that was a couple months ago. I made that hat and that scarf actually, and I was real excited about the scarf. And then when I took the picture to send to my friend, I looked at myself and I was like, holy smokes.
Is that me?
I felt so much better, and just my activity levels have gotten so much better. Active with my grandkids. I get up early in the morning. I don't feel sluggish anymore. And I just feel so much better. I just feel so much better. And that's a driving thought into when I am in those situations where I want to perhaps eat something that really isn't in my best interest. And I'm not saying that, it's been perfect, smooth sailing, but in those detours, I've used those as opportunities to grow and to reaffirm my movement forward and not wanting to go back that way, because my taste buds honestly have changed significantly. So even with those side steps, it's just not even worth it. And I don't have that desire. I thought maybe I would have the same desires for certain things, and I really don't. There's just one thing that I just really need to stay away from, and that's crunchy Cheetos. My husband loves them, and so do I. And that's the thing I really, I just have to flat out say no. That's not it. But this is my life forward. I'm getting older, and I want to still have mobility. I don't want to have issues with my health. I don't want to have issues with my joints. And I feel like a lot of these foods are just no-brainers. They're just what would be in them that would potentially cause those issues. So I just feel so much better. And that's all I can say really is I just feel so much better. My cholesterol though went up 3 points over the year since the full year that I was on it, and I was sharing with the group, and I have a little issue with my primary nurse practitioner, but I did see a cardiologist, and because I've got some varicose veins, so I'm like, let's check it all out now. I mean, my colonoscopy is next month. I had my mammogram today. It's clear. I mean, yesterday it came. I wasn't worried about it, but it just brings my self-care to another level. Like, I want to know what's going on. I don't want to just take a pill. If I'm eating healthy and I'm on plan, my cholesterol numbers are going up. Is there an underlying problem with that? So, and if I have to take a pill for that, then I will. I mean, I'm not going to, shorten my life because I'm just being stubborn. That's just my opinion. But at least I'm feel like I'm being more active in my own self-care on all levels.
Yeah. Well, Bridget, unbelievable. Those pictures. I was looking at that picture, your now picture, and the one in the middle, and I was picturing that person trapped inside that other person. Like I was imagining that person in that person and just needing to be reborn, you know?
Yeah, reborn for sure. Yeah,
just you just must feel so comfortable. Just comfort, just to be able to move and just feel good about yourself. It's just so great, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just the little things too. Like even standing, I can cross my arms like this. I'm not like trying to, cross my arms, my legs. I cross them this way. I cross them this way.
Yeah.
I cross my foot around the back of my ankle of my other foot. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
And what's really wonderful is that you can live like this and feel like this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's just that you can't be eating all that food that you ate before. Now, let me ask you a question about that blood type diet that you were on. What was about that you kept falling off that? What do you think it was? Were you allowed to have sugar on that and flour and bread and stuff?
I'm O positive, so within that structure, there wasn't a whole lot of grain. There wasn't really anything processed either, and the missing link for me, even with that, is like the portions.
Yeah.
There was just a little blurb like, within this age range, a couple days a week, it said like ×3 you could have, an egg or something, but there wasn't anything to really put structure to it, and that's I do need that. So
that's how you felt that this food plan just really gave you just clarity. This is breakfast, this is lunch, this is dinner. These are the things to pick from. It's just that simple. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. Because even with the other choices, it's like you just eat until you can't move anymore. What is this? I don't know I didn't really know what it was like to weigh. On and off over the years, I've had scales and I've weighed myself on different like plans or diets, if you will. But it the way you have it structured, it just really put it completely, tied a bow on it. Perfect. I mean, I enjoy weighing my food. I've explained it to my family. I'm not weighing my food to have control, like a controlling thing. I weigh my food, or like even a deprivation type thing. I have to weigh it. I weigh it because I know when I eat this amount every day, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
If my activity levels are lower and I have that grain, that additional grain or something, then there may be a bit of a variance. But when I stay on it and I weigh it, there's no surprises. Nothing's going to creep in, unforeseen, and I'm going to have to go out and buy a new pair of jeans or something. No, it just works that way, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of the guesswork out by weighing it. You just weigh it and you're done with it.
Yeah, it's like this is when I'm going to stop eating. When this bowl is empty, that's when I stop. Because clearly, well, for me anyway, and I'm assuming most of us here, you don't. It's when you stop, not knowing when to stop. And it can't be left up to me. So I just know exactly how much to have because it's all been weighed out perfectly. And it's just it's a freedom, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And I have a scale at home, in my home, and then I have a scale that I keep in my camper when we're traveling, so I won't forget. And then I was, and one of my challenges is when I'm out and about and I don't prepare ahead of time, or I don't think I'm going to be gone as long as I am. So it always doesn't work out where I'm prepared ahead of time, but I do have some items in my car that I can have in a pinch. It's not the ideal scenario, but it's not a worst case scenario, and it's still, you know, items within the plan.
Yeah.
So I now have a scale in my car.
Oh, there you go.
And I
Scales
have
everywhere.
some nuts and a few things that are, you know, that are kind of shelf stable.
Yep, yep.
That if I really need to have it, because I get hangry. Sometimes if I don't stay within, you know, the range of my meal times, I will just have that, and just a little bit of a cashew or something to kind of take the edge off, and then I'm good. Either that, or I'll stop at a store and pick up, you know, a couple of peppers or something. But I have a whole little survival kit with, you know, my little cutting board, my knife, and some condiments, and you know, just going forward. So it's been a learning process too.
Wow. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And what does your family think of the change in you?
I love to see that I feel better. You know, my mood is better, and, you know, and it's all kind of interconnected. Then my energy levels are better, and I'm like, woohoo, let's go do this. And, you know, I was out with my daughter a couple weeks back, and we were talking to somebody, and she happened to mention, you know, Mike, and the person's like, oh, Mike. Yeah, he's my son-in-law. He's like, get out of here. I thought you guys were sisters. You know,
yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I love it.
Yeah, and they don't mind. I mean, they don't mind the way the food is. My grandkids love the omelet with the egg, and, you know, so I'll modify it a little bit for them when they come over for Christmas Eve. When everyone came over, you know, they all asked me if I could make them one, you know. They love it.
You're talking about with the grains in it, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everybody's real good with it. I mean, if, you know, I'm satisfied. They know what I've gone through over the years with my stomach issues, so I haven't gotten pressured, or, you know, I haven't had any negative feedback at all. Everybody's been real positive, and that's very helpful too.
Yeah, that's nice.
To have good, positive people around you,
yes,
and not people trying to sabotage you.
Right.
You know, for their own reasons. But those are, you know, everybody's got challenges, and I'm supportive for everybody, you know, where they're at this point on their path. You know, you follow it, you take a detour, you follow, you know. It's just in that divine right timing for everybody, and everybody's got different situations and health needs, and, you know, I've always said, you know, you do your best every day. At the end of the day, you sit back and you can say, I've done my best, and my best today may be not as good as my best, yes, you know, the day before, or the next day it may not be as better, but it's always going to be the best. You know, you're making the best choices for yourself at that moment with what you have to choose from.
Yeah. Well, good. Very good, Bridget. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all for your support and your awesome platform and the support. It's just a beautiful community of beautiful people.
Yeah, it's been wonderful having you here, and all those, I can just remember all those, when you first started, all those pictures that you would share with all that cooking, and those meals that you put together was so pretty. And
thank you.
I think it was very.
Still eating them. I should probably post some, because I've noticed that there's some newer people.
Yeah, there's a lot of new people that would definitely benefit. I think people look at the pictures and then they like make a grocery list, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And they're all basic. I mean, they're
very
just
basic.
Easy,
basic. Yeah, but you just put the meals together so nice. And
I'm just a plain Jane.
Yeah.
I call myself plain Jane.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
Yeah, but just
Thank you.
if you want to start that up again, I'm sure it'd be very helpful.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing yourself with us.
Yes, you're welcome.
And, you know, as we go along in the sharing tonight, if you have any questions for Bridget, or you have any comments for Bridget, that's awesome.
Thank you, Bridget. Okay, Cynthia, do you want to go next?
Yes. Hello, Bridget. Thank you so much for sharing. That's an awesome story. And congratulations on entering into maintenance.
Thank you.
That is so exciting. I'm going into year 2 of my maintenance, and it's just wonderful. And as you said, it's just a continuation. This is something that we're going to do for life. And so I just wanted to say that. I also wanted to say that I can definitely relate to you, and it's a good reminder. Like Nicole talks about sometimes we look in the rear view mirror because it gives us an opportunity to see where we came from and where we are now. And the stomach issues, I can relate. My body was just trying to tell me that, I was eating too much. I was eating the wrong foods. And like you, I was looking for the Tums or like you said, the mint or, all these other things. And eventually I just had to get honest with myself, and I had to admit that I had to make some major changes in my life because those stomach issues were not going to go away. So the other thing I wanted to ask too, which I don't know if you mentioned it, maybe I missed it. How much weight did you lose, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, not at all. Yeah, I sure did forget. I'm at about 75. Wow. I'm about 75. Yeah.
That's me. I lost 75 also. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's 2 of my grandkids.
and I could also relate to you about like not being able to cross your legs and things like that. And Nicole too has mentioned on occasion, I just get the biggest kick out of it, being able to see our kneecaps, right? I could never see my knees or my kneecaps, and when you lose the weight and now it's like, wow, I have knees, I can see my kneecaps. So anyway, congratulations, Bridget.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cynthia. Sandy, did you have something to say to Bridget? Would you like to go next?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Bridget, for sharing. That was so encouraging. I'm super excited for you. And one of my questions was if you were comfortable sharing how much you lost. You said 75. That's incredible. I'm wondering, it's always encouraging to hear the successes with the numbers because I'm kind of a numbers person like that. I know Lulu said that she likes to have like a 5-pound adjusting, I forget what you call it, but like, what was it, 131 to 136 or something like that, Lulu? Is that what you are?
131 to 135. It's a ideal weight range. So the ideal weight is 133, so my range is 31 to 35.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering, Bridget, do you have like a range? Did you choose a range? Also, I've lost weight. I think I've lost and gained over 1,000 pounds over my struggle of 42 years. I'm 57 and I started struggling when I got my period at 15. So do you have a range, and like, do you mind sharing how tall you are and what your range is? It just is encouraging to me to see the success and hear the numbers. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, that's understandable too. And by the way, you don't even look like the same person. Like, yes, your smile did, but like you don't even look like the same person. That's so exciting. You look so fabulous.
Yeah, thank you so much. I always was under the impression that I was 5'4". I think at some point earlier on I was 5'4", but now I'm 5'2.5". Yeah. So I think I looked. I don't have the. I'm trying to keep it similar to Lulu, between 135 and 131, like a 3 to 5 pound variance. I'm at the higher end, so I'm at 135, which I've been staying at. I think I know that the weight would go down a little bit more. I just haven't been as active, to be quite honest with you. I'm in full-on hibernation mode. It's been so cold, and I haven't really done a lot in the house right now. moving around. So that's because I crochet too, so that requires sitting, because I haven't been able to master movement and crochet at the same time, you know, other than my
Yeah.
hair. But yeah, so I would say I just stick with the 5'2", and I know I want to get down a little bit lower, because there's no wiggle room right now, because I'm at the top of it, and I'm okay with it. But I noticed that I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my jeans. So I'm just really mindful of keeping it there, but I would like to go down a couple more pounds.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. You look amazing. And
thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy.
Kate, you wanted to mention something?
Congratulations.
Thank you, Kate.
I just wanted to say that when I first started this about, I don't know, last April, your postings on Healthy Food, Healthy Life on the Facebook page really motivated me a lot and got me starting to post things. And every day I would like see your posts and I was like, oh wow, that looks good. And it got me excited about food and prepping food and different food ideas. And I actually learned a lot from your posts and everything. So I just wanted to share that. You helped me a lot with that. And then I started posting, but then I thought, well, my posts are like always the same, because my food is kind of like gotten to where it's just very much the same all the time.
Yeah.
So then I stopped posting, but I just wanted you to know that. And what an amazing transformation.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks, Kate. I appreciate that.
That's all I got.
I'll definitely start posting some more pictures.
Yeah. You know what it was? It was seeing your pictures was like you could just feel your excitement about the meal and posting the picture. And I think the people feel, when they can feel that you're excited about this meal, they're like, you know, well, geez, I can be excited about that meal too, you know? It's kind of like on my channel when I eat, and there's people that are just like, that's so rude. I have people that they don't get it. They write to me, they tell me how rude I am because I eat on my channel. You know, who wants to watch you eat? And I was just like, you know, just stop watching me.
Work for me.
Just stop watching me. But you know, there's people that say to me, I love to watch you eat because I've just never seen anybody that just really appreciates every bite the way that you do, and you can tell like that you really mean it. And I think that, and it's just like, I think it's helpful to people, you know? And if it's not, just fast forward, you know? And it's not like I'm gonna just like chew for a half an hour on a video, but it's just like, I think people are getting the same passionate feeling from your pictures, that same kind of feel to see somebody just like, look what I made today, you know? And it's like, you know, how can I be excited about that too, you know? And then it's like, I can be. Like, we don't have to just drool over a picture of a pizza or a hot fudge sundae. We can drool over just really nice, healthy food, you know?
I always think when I see you when you're eating, enjoying yourself, I'm like, oh, it's like a treasure hunt. What are you gonna find next? You know?
What's she gonna get next?
Yeah.
I know, and I get so excited. I love my meals.
It is.
Yeah, good.
So should we go to the topic now of travel?
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it. Thank you very much, Bridget. Very inspiring. Yeah. The pictures were just amazing, and your commitment is commendable. So thank you for being a part of our group.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for sharing. Okay, well, Lulu, do you want to talk all about travel?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot. And also, you know, all of you here that are on your journey, you know, when you get, you know, close to your goal and you've got a success story, we'd love to feature you. So work towards that, because, you know, you don't have to be afraid of it. It's a lot of people here have done it, and it's good for you and it's good for everybody else. You know, when you get something, a gift this big, it's really awesome to share it. with other people, no matter how nervous you are. So if everybody could gear yourself up for that and let us know, just let Nicole know whenever you're ready to share your story. Would love to hear it, the whole story. Travel. Easy breezy.
Do you ever travel, Lulu?
Well, occasionally. This is the way I travel. I mean, I've said it 100 times. This is the way I travel because I have my kitchen with me everywhere I go. I just have grocery stores I can stop at. I prep cook. I have electricity that I make, and I've just set myself up for success. It's funny because I'm making plans with somebody to do a podcast and to do a video. And so I was putting out my availability. So I said, well, I'm available Sunday, except not between 3 and 4 in the afternoon. I'm available Monday, but not 1 to 2 in the afternoon. And then I'm available Tuesday, except I'm not available like 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. So that's my availability. And then I said, oh, and then there's also meal times. So I was like, so all those days I'm not available from noon to 12:30, and from and she's just, because it's like, to me it's like it's an appointment that I have with myself. It's an appointment that I have with myself to stop and nourish myself. When I keep myself on the beat, so I can be, I'm going to be traveling back to Miami for this podcast, and I'll just hit the road to Miami. And it's so funny because, I've just come all the way across the state, and now I'm going to go back, and it's like, to me, it's like nothing. It's like nothing. It's like going to the next town over, even though it's a few hours away, because, when you travel, long extended trips, this is nothing. So, it's just important to me. My mealtime is important to me, whether I'm traveling or not, and everything just gets planned around it. If I get short on electricity, if I just say I'm not traveling much and it's not sunny and my battery's not keeping up, then I'll stop using the Instant Pot, and I'll just do everything in the pan, because anything that I cook in the Instant Pot I can do in the pan with the butane. If I really struggled with electricity and I couldn't make my ice, I would buy ice, and I would just keep my food with my ice. So it's like there's just no excuse to not have myself set up. I just happen to have the power system now that it provides me much more convenience to do the things that I want to do to prepare my foods on the road. And I got traveling in a camper van and meal prep. I have it down to a science. And I think you've all seen my videos, and you all know, as far as traveling to people's homes or to hotels and stuff, I mean, those two things can get tricky, but if you want this bad enough, you'll make sure it happens. You'll make sure it happens no matter where you're going. It's just that important to me. If somebody said, you want a free trip to, Tijuana, right? I'd just be like, I don't really know if I can get my food there. I'd have to see. And if I can't get what I need 3 times a day, which might be difficult, I don't know, I wouldn't go. I don't need a free trip. This is what I need. This is what I need. I need to feel this good all the time. So, and fortunately, I'm just happy as can be in my little camper van, so I don't need any, not that, what did I say? Did I say Tijuana or Taiwan? I don't know where I said.
Tijuana, but both of them might be a challenge.
Tijuana, yeah. That's right in Mexico, right? I was trying to think of a place very far away. It didn't come out right.
We already know how you take food into Mexico.
I know it, yeah. I know it. Yeah, I did that. And I carry that handbag, because you know me, I have my little purse. My little purse is this big. But I have a purse that's this big, and it's empty, and it's in my cargo box. And that's in case I need to smuggle a meal in anywhere. And that's the bag that I used to put my meal. I said I don't have I don't have a bag big enough or concealed enough to take it in a Tupperware, a meal in a Tupperware. So I just put the whole meal in a Ziploc bag, zipped it, put it in the purse with a fork, and it was the only thing that fit in the purse. And I just walked into Mexico, walked over the border, and I think to myself, when am I going to be in a situation like that, like with my camper van? I don't know. So I have that in my cargo box, just in case I need to smuggle. So that's what I got for travel. What about you, Nicole? You just got back from traveling.
Yeah, I just got back from a 4-day trip. And so I took a flight and I brought my dinner on the plane. And when I travel, I use this 4.7 cup Brilliance. Thanks, Kathleen. And my veggies, are usually the cooked kind. Like I wouldn't put a salad in here because that wouldn't fit. But this fits all of my 16 ounces of veggies and my protein, my grain, and my fat. So that's my favorite dish for traveling. And what I did is, first a couple funny things, just like we've always said before, my bag gets pulled aside and they have to look in it. And, I had decided, even though I was going to stay at my friend's house and there's a well-appointed kitchen, I just thought I want to make things really easy for me because, they're going to get up and want to get going and I don't want to have to be doing everything. So I measured my oatmeal and cinnamon in 4 little baggies. So it was just ready to go. I put a cup of lentils and the seasonings for it in a baggie to bring with me to put in the Instant Pot when I got there because that is my protein for lunch. And so I had all these baggies in my luggage, and of course they had to look at my dinner, they had to look at all this stuff, and I had little boxes of raisins in case the fruit went rotten or something like that. Yeah. So I had all these little things to just help me get through. So I got checked at the stop point, of course, but and then what I do is I just write down each day of the week that I was going to be gone, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and what am I going to have. And I like to do the same thing because it's just easier. So like I knew I would have 2 eggs every morning for breakfast and a fruit every morning for breakfast and oatmeal every morning for breakfast. So I knew as soon as we landed, we go to the grocery store, I just get a dozen egg and 4 fruits, and my breakfasts are covered because the oatmeal's in my bag. And then for lunch, I did the lentils every day for my protein. And then I wrote out several vegetables and how many ounces I would need for 4 days. And so my grocery list wasn't really long. This time it was a dozen eggs. It was 4 fruits. It was green beans, golden beets, carrots, cauliflower, frozen cauliflower, and veggie burgers. And so I just knew what I needed and how much I needed. And I also knew if I calculated a little bit wrong, I'm, in modern America, I can go to the grocery store again. But I just wanted to get it all done and bring it with me because then I could get it cooked around our itinerary. So like when it was time to watch a movie, I was, doing some things while we were watching a movie just so that I didn't have to disrupt our plans, and because they ate out too, So the other thing I did was I just used the same container for my lunch when we were going somewhere, and I put it in here, and wherever they picked for lunch, Carl's Jr., that's fine. I need to go to the gas station next door and microwave mine because I wanted it hot. If there wasn't a gas station next door, I would have eaten it cold. But it just worked out beautifully that way, that wherever we went, they got their food and I went to the gas station and microwaved my food. And that worked really, really well. So again, coming home, I used to feel so self-conscious on the plane. I used to eat candy on the plane and drink juice and whatever snacks that they fed you on the plane. And I sometimes felt embarrassed about that as a really overweight person. Trying to hide that, I have all this candy over here in my bag. And now, I'm eating this big bowl of food and it takes a long time to eat. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I got to do. And I feel happy. And it's just given me, this food plan has just given me so many wonderful benefits. And one of them is that fitting in the plane seat. I just can't get over it. I mean, I sent Lulu a picture because this time, you know, I'm in the seat and there's like this much left of the seat belt that, you know, that isn't even needed. And I wanted to measure it. So I'm like sneaking my notebook and I'm measuring like how much extra is this? And don't pull it too tight because that's cheating. But you know, it didn't used to fit. And I used to carry that seatbelt extender because it didn't fit. And now there's all this room. And I mean,
Wow.
it's like, I was going to say it's like winning the lottery, but it is like winning the health lottery and the comfort lottery. And the only uncomfortable part of the flight, and I'm back in, you know, steerage, is my tailbone was kind of hurting. And I know there's plenty of padding there still, but I'm like, wow, I'm not used to like sitting on any kind of bones this long, you know? So, I mean, I was beaming probably the whole time. And I wrote some of my gratitude during that flight. And some of it's a little too embarrassing to post because, you know, I'm telling you basically, you know, my butt felt great. But it just felt great, you know, like to just realize like, traveling used to be the most uncomfortable, not just because I didn't fit, but because it was really cramped and it was like suffering, you know, like pain with this tight thing and being squished in and trying not to sit too close to the person next to me. So I'm starting to think, you know, I love the window seat, but I'm like, I might, and I'm very frugal, I might just spin the wheel and end up in a middle seat, you know, and because it doesn't matter because I fit. So, just these non-scale victories, you know, I just can't, express like just how much it means to me. And then I went to the place, my girlfriend's house, where when I first was on this plan, before this group even started, and I had written to you, Lulu, to just tell you I was going on a trip to see my friends. And I was a little nervous, even though they're great friends and they, you know, are super supportive, but just about the difference that it was going to be. I was going to want to make all my own food and I wasn't going to want to go out to eat. And I'm in the same room and, you know, I got a ding and it was Lulu saying, you know, how's Nicole? Just checking on me that first trip. And it just, I was sitting there like, you know, asking myself on that same bed in that same spot, how's Nicole? And Nicole is just a whole lot better. You know, her spirit is better, her body is healthier, and it's just been a little while. And, you know, the time goes by no matter what you do, you know, if you're taking care of yourself or you're not, but when you're taking care of yourself, it's just, there's nothing better. So that's just my travel story from this past week. You know, there's lots of different kinds of travel, but when you're going to someone's house that you know, and you just, you know, decide that you're going to do what you need to do to take care of yourself, there's just nothing better. It's just a really good feeling that it isn't about what am I going to eat and how much am I going to eat, and now I feel sick from what I ate, and oh, I don't have the energy to go to the animal sanctuary. It's like, let's keep going, you know. And it's like you just feel so like, it's like, yes, like this is what living really is. It's not about what can I eat next. So that's my travel thoughts.
Oh, Nicole, beautiful. I love it. I can feel it. I feel the passion. You're just unbelievable. Love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Lulu, for starting this, you know, and just in the same, you know, what you were saying, Bridget and Kate. I used to watch Lulu in her van going, who cooks broccoli in a van? You know, what is she doing? You know, it was like, what? It just seemed crazy, you know, and I thought, wow, she really is serious about what she's putting in her mouth. And, you know, that was just the beginning. And that's when I started kind of writing to Lulu a little bit, or saying, you know, what's your plan? You know, can I have that? I was writing down from the videos, like, okay, broccoli, you know. So thank you. Just thank you. So with that, finally, Eileen, thank you for your patience. You're up.
Hi, Eileen.
Hello, everyone. I think it was you, Nicole, who was talking about when you went to like meetings or something, and you would like, you know, like all the food that was there and overeating and everything. And I was thinking, like, I really have one up to you, because I would take Tupperware with me, and even after I ate, I would take stuff home with me. So
I got you there too. I had Ziplocs at my desk drawer.
Okay. So, I'm still doing great. I think in less than a month, I think I'm like 11 or 12 pounds down. But I'm one of the things that maybe it could be a subject for another thing, another video, another meeting, which would be, especially for us just starting, like cravings. I'm really struggling with that. I liked when Bridget says, okay, she'll have like a cashew, So I find myself like I'll have a few, like a small piece of cheese, which is not part of the plan. It's in between. So I'm really struggling. And then I'm almost like fantasizing about bagels and this and that, and like, am I never going to have that again? And I know I need to do what I'm doing, and I feel freaking amazing, to not have my clothes. Like I was getting to the point where I was like one of those people that just would be wearing, relaxing clothes, all the time. But yeah, so I think and the other problem is I'm just going to go on a short 3-day cruise just out of LA, which is not too far. And I know on one hand it's going to be so great because all the lettuce and all the salad stuff is already going to be there, and this, that, and the other. But oh my God, I hope I can, with the temptation. So that's basically it. I do feel like I'm struggling, and I do think a good subject we could talk about, if other people feel that way, is cravings, especially at the beginning. That's it.
Well, I think that, cravings, physical cravings, there's physical cravings and then there's mental cravings, right? So the physical cravings are, when you're first getting off the sugar and the junk food, your body is like responding, like your body like needs it, wants it, right? So you're probably not, after a month, if you haven't had sugar and flour for the past month, did you say it's been about a month? Yeah. I'm going to say that you're not having physical cravings. You're just mentally and emotionally staying attached to food. And I think that having those little bites of a cashew or a piece of cheese, I don't recommend it. I mean, if it works for you,
No,
good.
I know.
But I'm just saying that like what you're doing is you're keeping something alive that like, okay, well I'll have this. And then instead of just embracing the nothing in between meals, like it's about loving that. Like I love that, like I finish my dinner and I know there's no reason for me to even think about and fantasize about a bagel, right? Because I know the next time I'm going to chew food is tomorrow morning. And it's just, there's just that freedom. And it's a like I said, I think that you might be having like, it's like emotional and mental cravings at this point, if you haven't put any sugar. But if you're doing all this entertaining of the idea of fantasizing about other foods and stuff, and then you're like, instead of just kind of thinking about how you're going to kind of get off get that like just out of your mind, I think it stays in your mind because you're grabbing those little bits,
Thank you for that. I understand. It's like,
yeah.
A little bit of tough love for myself, and
Yeah.
It's not been a month yet, but thank you. I needed that.
Yeah. Just think about it, because the cheese will end up turning into something else. It could, and it may not. I could eat a piece of cheese in between meals. I could eat a couple of cashews in between meals. But I don't know where that's going to lead me. I don't know. I don't want to be on the high end of my range. I don't want to lose it. I feel like I might lose the whole shebang. Because you never know how it takes off.
This is how I failed in the past.
Yeah.
Like I've lost all this weight. I feel so great.
Yep.
I'll just have a piece of pizza, and then it's just a slippery slope from there.
Exactly. And if you want something different this time, then you have to do it different.
Yeah.
Follow me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So.
But thank you for that.
Yep.
And I know it's more on the days when, I'm involved in a lot of things and I'm also still working. So sometimes it gets chaotic, so I notice there's a pattern there when I don't do the planning.
Oh yeah, especially if you have a chaotic life, and because it's not like the whole time I've been on this food plan, I've been retired. I mean,
yeah,
I worked, I commuted into Boston, and I just always had my food straight. Always had my food straight for years, and there was free food. It was like sometimes in the office, it was like being on a cruise with all the food, and just not an option. When it's not an option, when it's truly in the depths of your being not an option, that's when you won't feel these emotional cravings. Because if it's an option, it's always going to be the choice, the option that you really want, because you're always kind of entertaining the idea, I like just not even entertaining the idea. It's just so much more peaceful. So I hope you can get there one day. Just start with just not doing those little nibbles.
No, I'm going. I just needed that. Yeah. I needed you to say that. No, but I'm never speaking to you again.
I'm glad you brought that up, Eileen. I mean, this is the place to bring it up,
yes,
because we've all had those thoughts, especially in the beginning, and the more I think, when you said, when you ask yourself, am I never going to have that again? When you think in those kinds of terms, I think we've all thought that, but you start to adjust your thinking. And one of my favorite analogies is just the bus ticket. You're punching a ticket to go somewhere with everything you eat. And when you eat something else, already, if it's off plan, it's taking you somewhere else off plan. And, it's then using that in those beginning times when you're having a craving, to just get through it, and then it builds. But yeah, I think, I'm so glad you brought it up here, because we all want to support you, and
yes,
and
we have a weigh-in coming up next
Sunday,
our
next
right?
meeting. It'll already have been the first.
So Sunday, what's today? Thursday. So Sunday is weigh-in day, so I'm really excited about that. Now that I have my scale in my van,
your system,
my little system.
Anyways, next we have Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Okay, I'm excited. I had some great things happen today. I'm going on a cruise in March to the ABC Islands. And I had to go to the dentist today. And I don't go into Tulsa very often because I have everything I need here in my little bitty town. So I don't go in there very often. So there's my favorite clothing store is there, and they have really, really good prices. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go in and go to the clothing store to see if I can find some things for my cruise. And then last night, I thought, I've got stuff in the back of my closet that I haven't worn forever. So I went and did a shopping spree in my closet. Oh. And I tried things on that haven't fit me in a long, long time, and they fit. And I've still got a month out to where they'll fit me really good in a month.
Oh, and so, that's low. I love that.
So I decide, well, I need a rain jacket, and I really don't want to buy too many clothes right now because I'm going down in sizes. Mm. So I get there, but I really need a rain jacket. So I went in and I was looking, and I didn't find a rain jacket, but I started seeing all of these cute clothes that were like a size 10 or whatever, things I can't wear right now. And I started thinking, in a year from now, I can wear this probably. Or in 2 years from now, I'll be able to wear this. So then I got all excited. I used to hate going clothes shopping. It was so much fun today walking around looking at all the cute things that I might be able to get in a few years. And so I got real excited about it. And so right now, because of losing so much in my future, I'm not going to buy anything new. I'm just going to keep shopping in the back of my closet. But I'm real excited about the cruise. I went on and saw the menu for the main dining, and have already picked out what I'm going to have on the different nights. And they have, all these luscious things that I look at it and I'm like, I don't even want that. I don't even desire that anymore. Just like the chocolate cake from a couple of weeks ago when the girls were having the birthday party and they were all eating chocolate cake. I just didn't have that desire for it anymore. I don't need it like I used to. And so this is why I even thought about videotaping the cruise of what I eat, but I'm not a very good videographer. So
you could take a picture of every meal and put it on the Facebook page. Show us what you're having on a cruise. Just say
that's a good idea, because I can't do videos.
Just do a picture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Oh, I'd love to see what they're serving on cruises for you.
Well, I'm real excited. So because I'm like, I am determined I'm going to go on this cruise and I'm going to do the plan. And so I'm getting more and more excited about it.
Yeah.
So that I can see what I actually can eat. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited. There's 11 of us going.
Oh, nice.
We're renting a Airbnb. We have to fly into San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then from San Juan we take the ship and go to the ABC Islands. So what I've decided, because of the time frame of getting to the Airbnb and then we have to check out in the morning, have you ever used freeze-dried food?
No.
I have so much freeze-dried food because I have used it a lot when I camped. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm weighing it. I'm trying to determine how much it is when it's freeze-dried and then hydrated.
Yeah.
So what I've done when I've camped in the past is I've made meals in a baggie of the freeze-dried. And so that's what I'm going to do for the Airbnb, so that I'll have my dinner when I get to the Airbnb and it'll all be freeze-dried and all I have to do is put water in it. And then the same thing for the morning. I'll probably do oatmeal and I'll measure out, the oats and the nuts, and I do have some freeze-dried blueberries. I'll probably take them, or raisins, one of the two, so that I can have my correct meal before I get to the ship. And so because I don't want to go spend where we're staying at this Airbnb, there's no close supermarket to walk to. So I would have to take an Uber or a taxi to go to the grocery store just for dinner or for breakfast. So that's why I'm going to bring the freeze-dried food and hydrate it there. So once I get that figured out, if anybody's interested in it, I could post pictures of what that is.
And I love when you talked about the clothes, because there was, your fantasy. You're not fantasizing about food and thinking about food. You're looking at those clothes and you just got all excited about those clothes. That's what's exciting. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good, Gail.
All right. Have a good week.
Yay. Happy for you.
Thank you, Gail. So let's go right to Sheila.
Hi, Sheila.
Hello. Oh goodness.
Stop, guys. My dogs, when they hear that word. Anyhow, I've got 2 quick questions, and then I'll just ask my questions, and I'll unmute, and you can answer. My first question is about time zones. Lulu, I know sometimes you travel to in your van, you go to other time zones. I find, as you do, that eating at a specific time is very beneficial to me. Do you adjust your time zones to the local time, or do you stick to your Eastern time zones?
No, I eat at noon. Well, if for breakfast, I eat kind of whenever I wake up, right? So that can be different.
Sure.
Lunch is at noon, dinner's at 5, no matter where I am, whatever the clock is where I am.
So that time zone of, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheila. Next, we have Sue T.
Hi, Sue
Hi,
T. How are you?
Hi, Lulu. Good. Hi, everybody. I'm good. I wanted to reemerge. I felt like I had left you guys hanging. Things are good, but I had a hiccup when I tried to travel in mid-January into the city with food, and at first I wasn't going to do it at all, and then I said, "Oh no, I can do this. I've got it." And so I prepared 2 meals in those wonderful, brilliant Rubbermaid things. And I got out a backpack. I had everything but a fork. And I thought, well, I could always, go into a fast food place and ask for a fork. And then that morning I was like, nope, this isn't happening. It was so bitter cold. And I couldn't pull the trigger. But I have to say that when I did, I was good. I didn't have too much that was off plan, but it was a challenge. So we were just like zigzagging all over Times Square, and we ended up on a very long line to get tickets for a show. And, we ended up eating at a diner, and it just wasn't optimal. But I have to say, the next day I had 2 prepared meals and they were delicious. I really surprised myself. So I'm still wobbly, but each day I'm a little stronger, and I do have that chamomile tea when I, between meals, and I'm still at the only 12 ounces of vegetables at my lunch sitting, and I really haven't been able to have a dinner because it's just too much food for me at the moment. So I have different challenges in that my why is not so much weight loss as it is health preservation. So it's a little fuzzy, but I do know, I wholeheartedly believe that I serve myself well. It serves me well to not eat sugar or flour. So I'm getting there, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here and I'm
glad you're here, so.
I'm new. I'm still on the path.
Good. We're glad.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.